Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Hello to you, my friends. It's so good to see everybody. Guys, Sam is having a little bit of camera problems. He's having a couple camera issues. He will be here in just a second. So I wanted to go ahead and just say hello to everybody while we wait on him to get here. Hello, Colleen. Hello, Mary. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Gina. How are you guys? Is everybody having a good day so far? The week has just barely started, and I had a day yesterday where I literally thought all day long was Thursday. What? I don't even know. It was Monday, and I lived the entire day thinking it was Thursday, which is really weird for me. By the end of the day, I was like, wait a minute. You know you've been busy when you don't, like, that just goes to show that I worked through the entire weekend. Like, I didn't really stop much because my clock for work just kept going, right? So it was like well, I mean, it didn't work out perfectly as far as like Saturday being Monday and Sunday being Tuesday, but I mean, it was pretty close. I think that's a sign that maybe I need to like stay out of the office on the weekends. I don't know. I don't know. Did you guys have a good weekend? Nancy says I do that all the time. Well, at least I'm not the only one, right? At least I'm not the only one. I see Facebook's making their way in. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Terry. Wanda's here. Sam will be here in just a few minutes for sure. And we're going to get into the August Sam Speed Box. And I don't want to get too far into this without Sam because I gotta hear from the man himself about how he put together this beautiful box. It's so pretty. You guys know I love browns, like browns and taupes and creams and all of those neutrals. And I keep looking over because it's literally like right here next to me. This one was so pretty. And I had such a fun time creating with it. I'm not done with this box by any stretch of the imagination. Like I still have many pieces that I want to make. But I do want to talk to Sam about all of the little individual like specialty things that are included in this box because it was so beautifully put together as always, right? Our Sam Speed boxes are always incredible, and this was no exception to that whatsoever. I was really excited to get this one. It always, when I get my Sam Speed box, I'm always excited to like, I'm refreshed, I'm inspired, and I'm always excited for the next month. Like I have literally just opened this month and I'm looking at it and oohing and ahhing. And I'm already like, oh, I can't wait to see what next month is. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't even taken the time to like absorb this one. So I need to like take a minute and like, you know, process the August box. I need to try to do that with every box, but I can't help it because I get so excited by the boxes. They're so beautifully put together and they're always full of just amazing things. So it's really hard to like be patient for the next one. You know what I mean? It's really, really hard. And I get mine early so that I can work on, you know, the design ahead of time, which means that I'm in on the secret and I have to keep it secret from you guys, which is also very difficult because when they're super spectacular, it's really hard not to be like, I got the new box. I know what it is. It's difficult. It's difficult. But I've gotten better at keeping my mouth shut. I've not leaked any secrets this far, so I think I've done Sam proud. Jesse's in the house. Hey, Jesse. Jesse's doing double duty on Facebook and YouTube. Colleen does that sometimes too. It's pretty impressive. Hey, Sam's here. Sam, is it okay if I let you in already? Yeah? Okay. Sam's here!
Good morning.
Hi. Oh, I love your shirt.
Thank you. I did when I was putting on, I was like, I hope Sarah likes my shirt.
I love it. You look so good today. Look at you all.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
Just hanging. We were waiting on you. We're talking about this amazing box.
So excited to dive in. Are folks liking the box? Who here actually has the coffee box or is thinking of picking up the coffee box? I think it's a cool one, Sarah.
I think so too. I love that you picked coffee for your inspiration. Like,
well, Danielle.
Well, okay, but still. y'all, that's my East Tennessee. Y'all put together such a beautiful box.
Thank you.
It really is just beautiful.
Yeah, when Danielle was telling us about this coffee shop that she went to in her college years,
Yeah,
it just sounded like this beautiful, otherworldly, cozy place
yeah,
that was just like full of earth tones and plants. And she would go there for her morning coffee, and she loved the bagel sandwiches. It was
yeah.
just like she was so part of her life. Or like would be such a wonderful inspiration for this box. That's how this coffee house, coffee lovers theme came about.
I love that. And it's funny because her coffee shop sounds a lot a lot like the one that I hung out at when I was around that age. I
Hmm.
was actually probably a little bit younger because I was always on. We're like a campus town, right? The University of Tennessee here is huge, and so as teenagers, when we were in high school, we had access to campus, and so we
Hmm.
could go and hang out at campus. There were classes that you could take as a high schooler, to get credits ahead of time and stuff. So
Yeah.
there was always people who were underage that were on campus. And we had a couple of coffee shops too. The one that we went to all the time was the Daily Grind. And the guy who ran it, his name was Ian, and he was English, so he had this accent. And it was just such a cool place because it made you feel, at least at 16 and 17 years old, it made me feel like I was older and more mature and I could
Hmm.
try all these coffees. And back at that time, I'm kind of sharing my age here a little bit. You could actually smoke inside. And so, we would sit with our books
There you
and
go.
like smoke and drink coffee, and we were so posh and cool. Um, but I never thought to use that as like an aesthetic for something, and that's amazing. I love it. I love it. Though I will say Danielle sounds a little bit more interesting than mine. Mine was very much just like there was local art, but not a lot of it. And it was very
Hmm.
just kind of plain Jane on the inside. Hers sounded warm and cozy and but there weren't any
It
plants in
sounded
mine.
eclectic when she was describing it. Of all
Yeah.
like I imagine all the furniture is kind of reclaimed and just like there's a lot
Yeah.
of like wood. She said there's a lot of wood like on the walls too.
Right.
And so like it
Yeah.
was a place that like her study group would like go meet at to like work on a group project and like
Yeah.
I don't know, it was just so wonderful hearing all like the lovely times that she like was like it was just a time to like reminisce about for her. So it was such a cool way like turning that into a beatbox inspiration was very fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. And I feel like I messed up, okay? Because and I'm glad I didn't use this as my project, but I did a bracelet that I think is not the one that we're going to do today, but I did a bracelet with the Tila beads that I think is probably very similar to the class that Danielle is going to teach, and I'm actually afraid to show it. Is that I don't
Oh,
I didn't
you can
I
see it. Today's bracelet's the is that beautiful dangly dangle one, right?
yeah, that's the project for today. But I also did a extra project just
We want to
for
see it.
myself. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll show it to you here in a minute. But let's go ahead and get into the box. Now, listen,
Okay.
I used a lot of the materials in this box for my project, so I have some things
I
that are
have
kind
it.
of missing, if you will.
Yeah, I have it here if you want me to go through it really quick.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You go through
Okay.
it and let's ooh and ah together.
All right, let me add my second camera then. All right. There we go. All right. Let's take a look. We'll just do a little speed unboxing since I think a lot of folks have seen it by now, but we really like to do this just to get Sarah's reactions on, find out what her favorites are each month, because those always stick with me. I was like, oh, Sarah really liked this bead.
Yep.
Noted.
Yep. And you've got one in your hands that I love so much.
So this is our custom bronzite strand where I had them cut it for us so that there's a rim on it.
Yeah.
With the idea that Danielle loves to brick stitch around beads, but they have to have that flat side to it. So
Yeah.
I designed it like that as a little challenge for Danielle. And also bronzite is like one of my favorite neutral stones.
It is mine too. I really love it. There's something so intriguing about it.
We've managed to convert quite a few people at Sam's Bead Shop to bronzite lovers who maybe didn't even know about it previously.
I was one of those people. I had no idea it existed until Sam's Bead Shop had it. Yep, I was one of those for sure.
Here's a few of our spacers that we picked out. These are Danielle requested. She loves her pinch beads and her 3mm fire polish. So we got lots of spacer options this month. She specifically wanted to make sure we had enough for her what she wants to do with all the other beads.
So pretty.
And for Stone, which I'm still so happy that we look so pretty.
They're so pretty.
Here, actually, am I freezing on you? Because I could go down to one.
Yeah,
camera
you
if
are
that's
freezing
easier
just
on
a
your
little
iPad.
bit. Little choppy, but
Okay, let me do a swappy swap. 1 second. Alrighty, that should be a little easier on your iPad. All right, so here we've got that flashy sunstone, a personal favorite of mine that I never thought we would get that flashy of sunstone for Sam's Bead Box.
it's so beautiful.
And then Danielle fell in love with this gradient hessonite, so we had to do that as well.
That's
a
my
form of
second
garnet.
favorite. I love it.
Really? Wait, what's your first favorite?
My first favorite was the bronzite. I love the bronzite, but oh yeah, you put the two together and they're so pretty. Oh, love, love, love.
Yeah, how the stones came together this month made me very happy. Here are a few other of our check selections this month. We got some of our fairy tale flowers, some stone drooks, and then these are like a dark roast coffee tone drook as well. And it's kind of more unusual to see a check drook in an opaque color.
Yeah.
So I believe all these we custom ordered for some of those brighter tones as well to really kind of bring some of the designs a little extra pizzazz. What are you giggling at?
Sherry says Jesse needs to be playing Smelly Cat on his guitar.
What do you guys?
Everybody in the comments was talking about Central Perk on Friends, you know?
Yeah. I've been very deep into a Friends watch recently. Smelly cat.
I love it. Gosh, that's
Danielle
pretty.
picked out this gorgeous flower. This is like a larger flower than we typically are able to find, and we're able to get in this cool custom glass. So I just think that is so fun.
Yeah, I love that.
This is one that Danielle very specifically picked out. She wanted this opal tone of the petal leaves.
They're beautiful.
And it's super, like, it really is like a unique, look how that light comes through those beads.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I'm always a fan of the leaves, but I really do love that color.
Let's see, what else we got here? We got some of our hearts and table cuts. We got some extra pairs mixed in there. So you can make lots of quick earrings with this box. Ooh, I found our other focal. This is a brand new shape to the box. This is our dragonfly shield pendant.
I love that too. So fun.
I think this is super cool. I think this is so cool, Sarah.
It really is awesome.
It's chunky and like unique. I'm just like, oh, I'm loving that bead. There's a lot more. So we got our dancing daisy, another new shape for the box. We got those tilas that Sarah mentioned. We might get to see what she did with her tilas. These are a 2-hole bead from Miyuki. And Danielle picked out some gorgeous finishes. I love that like oil slick vitriol gorgeousness in there.
Yes, so pretty.
Like that's like my favorite type of tila. This one's super unique because we actually custom designed this and had a local place laser cut these for us for the very first time. And it's
I
coffee
love it.
beans.
It's really awesome. That was one of the things in the box I wanted to ask you about, because whoever your artist is pretty amazing, and I could see so many different ideas that you could do like that. You know what I mean? Like the coffee beans is so awesome, but you could do so many like specialized pieces. I love it. I love it. And I love that it's somebody local. That's really cool.
Yeah, we found this local place that could cut. It's like literally like a 2-minute drive from where Rachel and I live. We're like, wait, there's a laser cutting like place here. That's so cool.
That's awesome.
Here are some of our medals for the month. Danielle picked out these hoops. You can also just use as fun earring hoops, as well as this gorgeous little button from Tiercast I hadn't even seen before. And she uses that in her class on Friday. We're doing a leather wrap bracelet class, and that's the clasp. But my goodness, there's still more beads. Here are the actual coffee bean beads.
That's probably my third favorite thing in the box. And the ones that are a little on the purple side are my absolute favorites.
Oh, they're like matte and like they're so good. So we try to give folks lots of pairs here, so you can make lots of cute little coffee earrings or connect them together for some coffee earrings.
I love them.
And you have to have coffee BB. Coffee, oh my gosh, these words are really hard for this box. Got some more table cuts, a Danielle favorite.
They're so pretty.
I love these. They remind me of like the swirl you get in your Starbucks drink. And it can't be a Danielle box without a saucer bead. She loves her saucers. We did a nice big bag with all that bronzy shine.
You're so pretty.
Oh no, they're going everywhere. We also included leather this month for the first time. And so that Danielle specifically picked out when we were kind of brainstorming, what are we going to exactly do with all these beads in the box? And one of her ideas was like, if we do the Tilas, then we got to get some 1.5 millimeter leather. And like, I get to do one of my like first ever jewelry projects I ever did, which was leather wrap bracelets. Because that's kind of what kicked off her jewelry designing was leather wrap bracelets. She's made tons of them.
Yeah. And
so she's bringing it back on Friday. That's going to be our class, is using that leather cord that we included in the box. And we're going to make some beautiful bracelets. So I believe that's most things in the coffee box. Can't confirm that's everything, but
so beautiful.
That's the bulk of our coffee box.
It's such a beautiful palette. It really is.
Thank you, Sarah.
I love it.
Make a shout out a couple of our silver silk editions from our friend Nile.
Ooh,
in case you're looking for some more inspiration. We drew up a little bit on those warmer tones here.
Yeah.
Versus ambery flat mesh, super fun ribbon-like knitted wire. And then we also designed 2 different pipe chains, which I think I might use today. We did that same amber wire over brown, which I think matches the box so nicely.
Yes.
That little extra shimmer. And then we did a bright copper over white. It's a little bit more of a classic combo, but also a little unexpected because of that white as well, a little contrasty.
So pretty. So pretty. I love it.
That's all of our goodies. So if you're interested in grabbing this whole box, we do have some extras available. In the link of this video or on the Sand Speed Shop homepage, you can find the link where you can purchase the whole box at a nice little discount. Or you can grab most of these items are still available individually. And then if you're interested in like getting any future months, our September box we announced is a collaboration with Nile of Silver Silk.
That's gonna be so fun.
It's very pretty. Like I don't know how I want to tell you everything that's in it, and somehow I will keep my mouth shut, Sarah. But you'll see it soon enough. It's very pretty, and if you do want to get that, Sam's Bead Box at samsbeadbox.com. And Sarah has a code. You can use code Sarah for $5 off your first box, and you'll get a little discount on the Nile box.
I love it. I love it. All right. So I'll show you my wrap bracelet because I didn't realize that Danielle was doing a wrap bracelet, and I already did mine. Hers is probably a million times better than mine, but
we want to see it.
I did put one together with a little silk wrap, and
oh my gosh.
Isn't that pretty? I guess I was bouncing around on the same wavelength Danielle was, because that whole leather and button and Tila bead just kind of, it needed to be together. So I must have been channeling Danielle for sure. I did a little silk wrap on mine and added one of the little facets in here, but yeah, I couldn't help myself. When I opened the box, I was like, this was the first thing I needed to make. And I was like, but I don't want to teach it as, the project for the show. I got to do something else. But I did make this just because I had to.
So, it's pretty fun. It's so phenomenal. It's like exactly what we were envisioning for this box.
Yay, I'm glad. I hope I did Danielle proud.
It's actually, I think she's gonna love it. It's very different than the one she did, because she did more of a mixed bead one. She used like the pinch beads and stacked some of the other smaller beads.
Oh,
so it's actually different. Yours is only Tila's, and so it has a little bit different of a look. Hers is like a 2-strand one with mix of beads, and yours is like this nice streamlined. Like I would wear that in a friggin' heartbeat. Oh my goodness.
Isn't that pretty? It's all about the button and the Tila's. It's all about that. Such a pretty combo. Okay, so there's that. We can ooh and ah over. All right, now I did put together a different project for us to do today. And I did stringing because who doesn't love stringing? Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Sherry. Y'all are awesome. I had to use these. I could not use these, and they wouldn't work in my wrap bracelet in any other way other than just like a dangle. So I wanted to make them like part of the actual design. So that's why I picked a stringing project for this. But I put all of these onto head pins, and then I've given them simple loops. So we're going to start out with that. And then we're going to put them on a jump ring, and then we're going to string up a really, really pretty fun little bracelet. But I think we should get all of the little elements together first.
Totally. Oh, I love you. Put them all little dangles.
I know. I love them. They're so cute. And they're, why I love them is because they're the actual size of a coffee bean. Like they're not like a teeny bean version.
I'm obsessed.
It's just like having a real coffee bean to work with. That's just fun.
I'm so glad you grabbed them to use. That makes me so happy.
I love them. They're so fun. All right. So I'm going to put mine onto head pins. You can do knotted head pins if you want to. And I'm just going to do simple loop. So I'm going to bend the wire. Are you going to make something, Sam?
I was just looking at my desk. I also was like, I could just watch Sarah bead.
You did mention the silver silk though. That's why I was kind of curious as to like what you were gonna make.
Yeah,
it's always fun.
I grabbed a little memory wire and such, so I'm gonna start tinkering over here while you get going.
Okay.
And
all right, so I did a simple loop on this one, and then we're just gonna put it onto a jump ring. So each one of these is gonna go onto a jump ring, and you want to do that with all of those. Now, I left out the black just because I kind of had another idea for those for another day. So I just pulled all of the browns. And then the one that was my absolute favorite, I pulled it. This one is a little bit different than all of the other ones because it has that wash to it that it was my absolute favorite. And truth be told, I broke one of them and I was like so sad.
No.
Like I was so sad. I crushed it. There was no way it was going to survive. Like I crushed it with some very heavy things. It was a sad situation. But the other one, I saved it and I was like, okay, well, since I only have one of those, I'll use it as a dangle on the end of some extension chain. So I did get to use it. It doesn't have its mate, but I just linked together some tiara cast jump rings, and this will be the extension chain for the end. But I did a wrapped loop on this one just because I wanted to give it like extra security, especially after losing its brother. So yeah. Setting that to the side, I've got one more little dangle situation, and then we're going to start putting all of this together. So I pulled one of these leaves. I'm going to use one of these as a dangle in the bracelet as well. I'm going to wire wrap this, and I wanted to do this with you because it is drilled across the top like a brio. So we're going to wire wrap it very similarly to the way that we would wire wrap a brio. I do want to pull up the picture though, because I can't remember if I added an extra bead to this or not. I did not. Okay. You can though, if you want to, and I'll show you where you can do that. So I'm just going to take a piece of wire here, and I'm going to thread that on just like so. And when I wire wrap something like a brio or something that's drilled across the top, I like to have a long side and a short side. And I'm going to take those and crisscross those over the top of the bead to create a little triangle. Okay. Then I take the longest wire and bend it straight up and down. And then the shortest wire, I bend it out this direction. So I have this nice L shape here. And you can use your bent chain nose pliers to hold on to this if you want to wire wrap your short wire around your long wire. I'm actually just going to kind of hold on to mine and do it myself. And I'm actually going to wrap downwards instead of upwards, which I only do every now and then, but it's like making a little platform over the top of the bead. It just makes kind of like a little messy wrapped platform.
Looks great. And what goes on the platform?
Well, I didn't actually add a bead to this in the original design. However, for those of you who struggle with wire wrapping brios, because you got to take two sections of wire wrapping and make them meet up, sometimes that can be a little frustrating and it doesn't work out and look seamless. So you can always use that trick that I use where you put a bead in between there and then do your wire wraps on top of the bead, or you can just use the platform and treat it like a bead as well. So it's up to you. I'm always looking for ways to make it a little bit easier to do this technique, because I feel like a lot of people get these top drilled beads and they love them because they love the way that they look, but they don't use them because they don't like wire wrapping them. And I can understand that, you know? So I think I might actually pop a bead onto this one. I'm going to take one of these saucer beads.
Yeah, pop a bead.
Let's add a little saucer to it just to add a little pop of something extra there. All right. And then we're going to do a regular wire wrap. So if you don't add the bead, you've got two sets of wire wraps, which mine on the bottom here is technically not a wire wrap because it's just this kind of messy little thing. But if you wire wrapped upwards, you would be bringing two wire wrap sections together. But bend the wire over the top of the pliers, come in with your round nose pliers, go up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and then wire wrap in that space between your bead and your loop. Okay, and then you're going to come in with your cutter tool and trim off. And tuck your wire if you need to. Tuck my bottom wire too. All right, so now I've got an additional little dangle for my project here. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one on a jump ring as well.
There's so many elements to this bracelet that I actually don't even remember how it all comes together.
It does have a lot going on, but I intentionally did it because I was really having fun. You can tell, like, sometimes with a design, like, I have to, like, for instance, the wrap bracelet, like, it was calling to me. I had to do it, and I had to do it this way. Like, there was no other way in my brain. This was the way it was going to go, right? But with a project like this one, it's different. You can see, like, I was really kind of being creative and designing on the fly and just having a really good time with it instead of having a clear cut direction. This one was just kind of like, oh, let's just play and see what happens. And
Yeah.
that's where sometimes some of my very favorite designs happen. So, all right, one of the other elements was, and I didn't do this with you guys because it would take way too long, but you guys have seen me do these clusters before where I put all of the beads onto head pins and I do wrapped loops or simple loops, right? And then I connect all of them with either chain or jump rings. I used oval jump rings for this one, and put it together to have this like beautiful dangle. I loved it so much that I made a second dangle with the rest of these beads, and I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. I just had to have a second dangle. So some other project at some point is going to have the second dangle.
Incredible.
There was just something
I don't know if you know,
beautiful.
like my first obsession was clusters.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that you turned the Hessonite into like the most amazing gem cluster.
Yes, it's so luxurious and just, I don't know. There was just something about it. It was really speaking to me. So I turned it into a cluster and I had enough beads to make 2. I still have a couple of beads left over, but just one
Wow.
cluster is all you need for the bracelet. And listen, this is going to be an extra long dangle. That's not going to work for some people. I get it. If you can't handle all of this hanging off the side of your bracelet, then shorten it up and only make like maybe 2 or 3 little sections. You don't have to go crazy like I did, but I do love all of those beads there. All right, so I created that little cluster. So I have all of my little elements together minus 1. This is the last little element here. So I am making I'm using one of those rings as part of the design, and I wire wrapped a piece of the bronzite and one of the table cut Czech glass beads. I'm going to wire wrap a second bronzite on here because in the bracelet, I actually do use the round and the square in the center of the bracelet. So I do want to go ahead and make sure that I add a square to this as well. Lots of dangles here, lots of dangles. So we are going to add that to a head pin and we're going to wire wrap it directly to our ring here.
So you know we hope for all the dangles when we
design. And
I
went a little overboard with this bracelet, but I got to tell you, I love it. It's one of my very favorites. It's one of my very favorite designs. Oh my gosh, Andrea's here. Okay, so Andrea Bieber's in the comments, who I absolutely adore as a human being. She inspires, like, she's just the most amazing designer ever. She inspires my clusters.
True.
She makes such beautiful clusters, and I always just like aim. I'm like, I gotta be like Andrea. She's so awesome. So you inspire my clusters, my dear. Keep on making beautiful clusters, and I will follow in your footsteps.
and her wire components, like I also am.
I know, she's so amazing. She's so amazing.
You know, I ran into her like randomly, right?
Did you really?
Her and I were like texting for like a few days, and then I like popped by a bead show when I was visiting Portland, and I look up, and then there's Andrea.
I would have probably.
And we were like, what do you say?
I would have fangirled all over the place.
Oh, we both did. We both did. It was a whole little scene. We made a scene.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So I've wire wrapped all of my little dangles to my ring. Again, if that's too many dangles for you, that's okay. You don't have to do all of those. But now I'm ready to string a bracelet. Believe it or not, I'm ready to actually put something together now. So I'm actually going to start out with the ring. That's going to be the side that I start on. And I'm going to use some of these seed beads to make a loop connection. I'm not going to use all of them. I've got to have a few of them for going in between some of my other beads. But what happened to my bead stringing wire? I'll cut another piece. I don't know what happened to it. There's really no telling in this room, honestly. All right, so I'm going to grab myself a piece of bead stringing wire, and I'm going to grab a crimp.
All right, might have an update soon. I think I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I'm summoning my inner Sarah and Danielle. Here, should I flip around here? Let's see.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wait, well, you got folks going on the crimp, and then I'll flip around. I don't want to interrupt this key step.
Okay, so I just thread on a crimp bead here, and then I've got a little handful of seed beads, and I'm going to thread all of those seed beads on to my wire, and I'm just going to form a loop around the tiara cast ring, and that's going to be the start of my stringing. So I'll show you here.
Wait, that's so smart. The whole using the ring as a connector. This is so smart.
And it's such a pretty element too.
I don't think I've seen the ring used outside of like earrings and brick stitch much. So is most of the bracelet strung up then?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. All of the extra like wire wrapping parts, all of that's just kind of ahead of time. And then the rest of it is pretty much just straight stringing. So, all right. I'm going to sit these over to the side. I'm going to need a few more seed beads here in a minute, but I'm just going to create a loop. So I've got all of my seed beads. I've got my crimp bead here, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to loop it around the decorative tiara cast ring. I'm going to take my wire back through my crimp and pull that just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and crimp. So you just want to treat this the same way you would any other crimping situation, just making sure your wires are not crossing. And then you're going to come in with your crimper tool, put that into the back notch, give it a squeeze. And you're going to turn it sideways, put it in the front notch and give it a squeeze. Definitely give it the tug test. And then you're going to trim off the excess. And you are ready to string. So one side of the stringing doesn't have a wire guardian or anything like that. So we're just going to start the stringing from here. All right, Sam, what you got going on? He's disappeared. Sam!
Oh, I'm here. I'm here. I was muted. Sorry. I didn't want you guys to hear me digging for crimps. Let's see here. All right. So I literally started very simple. I had found in my drawer this morning this like super thick copper memory wire, which I've never even seen before.
Ooh.
Like I've never even seen on Bead's site, so I'm not even confident they still sell it. But I literally did some of that with the pipe chain, and I intentionally left some of it open because memory wire itself, and so that's going to be like the base of the bracelet, or at least one strand. And then I'm kind of going for like a second strand here, just doing a nice little mix of beads from it. So it'll hopefully become just a pretty simple, either I might do them separately so they could be kind of like one day I could like literally just wear this and be very happy when I add a little copper clasp. And then I think I'll do this one separately. But that's the general idea. I'm just going for a nice 2-strand bracelet design right now. So I'm not getting nearly as complex as what Sarah's gone over there. So if you want to, you have 2 different options here, okay, guys? You can do it all, or you can, I don't know what this is.
You're so funny. All right. So
do you ever overwhelm yourself when you start making jewelry, when you have like 18 ideas that you start implementing at once?
Yes, I do. I very much do. Yeah,
we could add a little of that. Oh, we could add a little of that.
Yep. And that's my problem, is it's like sometimes I just don't know when to stop, you know? I get a little crazy and I don't know how to like pull it back. I have to rein myself back in, you know? All right. So what I've done here. So I started out with 3 of the saucer beads, and then I started with the drucks, and in between each druck is a seed bead, and then on top of that is one of my jump rings with my coffee bean beads. Those seed beads are just protecting that bead stringing wire because there's a lot of movement here. The jump rings are nice and big, so I didn't want those rubbing up against the bead stringing wire. So I did that up to let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the drucks and 4 of the coffee beans. And believe it or not, this is actually towards the middle of the bracelet just because of the way that it's designed. It doesn't look like it yet, but it really is when you kind of take into consideration like the ring and how big it is too. So even though we've only strung a few beads, we are actually at the midway point. So now I'm going to take 2 of the bronzite. I'm going to do one of the circles. And then I'm going to do another little seed bead. And in between these, I'm going to pop on my leaf. So that's going to sit on the seed bead. And then another bronzite.
Oh, Sarah.
What?
I said I unstrung my entire bracelet. So
Oh, no.
it's just that type of morning, you know?
Gosh.
I'm back to like 3 beads.
Oh, my goodness.
No! All right, I'm just going to sit here for a second and mourn, and then maybe I'll remotivate.
You're so fun. I'm going to mourn for a moment. And then we'll move
Just
on.
sit here, okay?
I can understand that frustration, though. I get it. I think we all get that.
I literally was trying to take off 1 bead to make an adjustment, and then I pulled on the wrong thread.
Oh, that's always frustrating.
Using the I even love the look of the jump rings in between the dark brown drooks there.
Right? It was just kind of a cool element. Really cool. I mean, it makes the jump rings kind of part of the design.
Oh, you got the CB mixer. That's one thing I didn't show is we did a tube of Miyuki rounds in this box.
Yeah. And they're so pretty. It's such a beautiful mix.
Yeah, I really love how it came out. And you saw that we put a little bit of that flashy bead in there also.
Yeah.
Same as like similar to the Tila beads. It felt important to add that extra something.
Well, they're perfect. Perfect. Love them. All right. So got all of that, which is already a lot going on, but I love all of it. So I'm not mad about it. I know it's a lot of dangles, but
it works. It feels very cohesive.
I think it works too. And I love the little coffee beans. So quite honestly, even if they didn't work, I would have still used them because I love them that much. All right. So I'm here on the other end of my bracelet, and now I actually am going to use a wire guardian. So I'm going to get my crimp. I've got a wire guardian here and thread my crimp on my wire guardian. Take my wire back down through the wire guardian and through the crimp. Oops. Uh-oh. Well, let's do that again. Pop right out.
That was quite the sound.
That was a dog shaking their head and whipping their ears around.
That dog has big ears.
All right, so same thing as before. You just want to make sure your bead stringing wire is not crisscrossing, and put that into the back notch. Give it a squeeze. Make sure you don't accidentally catch your wire guardian in there. Turn it sideways. Oh, I did a terrible crimp on that. Let's see if we can get this undone. That is not going to work for me. I hate it when that happens. Listen, guys, I understand the struggles of crimping. I really, really do. And I think that sometimes designers need to slow their roll on crimping and realize that it is a major frustration for so many people. So to pretend like we don't ever have problems with it, I think is doing all of our people a disservice, because we struggle too, trust me.
And then it's twice as hard to do it through a camera.
Yeah. Yeah. If your face is away from it, it's really, really difficult to...
I can only crimp right in front of my face.
Yeah, it's difficult. And then to get a crimp off without destroying your wire is a feat all in itself. Because I don't want to have...
That's usually the point where I put it all in a little baggie and put it in a drawer.
Me too. I'm like, oh well. Moving on.
As long as I put it in a baggie, it's safe for next time.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll come back to it. Maybe not. And that's okay. Some projects need a longer mourning period.
Letitia says, yes, sometimes crimping makes me want to cry. Same, okay? Same. I don't want anybody to think for 1 second that I crimp perfectly every time, because that is not true. Not even a little bit.
I do find it helpful to like watch some of Sarah's demos on crimping, because she's done a lot of good demos on it. And like once you have a good at least understanding of it,
yeah,
you at least make sure you're trying to do the same thing each time, so that your error rate will eventually start going down and it will get less frustrating.
Yeah. And I do find that, like, if you struggle with it a lot, sometimes making some small adjustments, like using a crimp tube instead of a crimp bead, kind of makes things a little bit easier, because a tube, whereas I'm using a bead here, which is not my favorite, but using a tube has a little bit more surface area, so it's a little bit easier to get into the crimper tool itself. But sometimes even that is not enough to make it any easier. It's just sometimes it helps, you know. And I will show you another little thing that does help, is to take your wire through some of those beads at the end, which I didn't do this time, and I think I probably should have, and I'm going to this time. So I'm going to take my wire back down through my wire guardian, and then go back down through my crimp. And then I'm actually going to take this wire through these saucer beads too. Part of the reason that I do that is to get a little bit more room to work with. I'll show you what I mean here in just a second, if I can get this back through this crimp bead. I wish I had crimp tubes in this copper, but I don't. That's why I'm sticking with the bead instead of a tube. I really prefer the tubes over anything. But I'm going to take
I am team tube too.
Yeah, they're just a little bit bigger, and but they still can be made nice and compact, so they don't overwhelm, you know. But I'm going to take that through a couple of those little beads right there, just so that now when I'm pulling, I'm not pulling between. I'm not trying to like maneuver my fingers and a tool up here. Now I've got room for just the tool, not pulling at the wire in the same spot. That's going to help significantly. So now I can get the crimper in there and I'm not crowded. It's not a crowded space. All right, back notch, give that a squeeze. Much better. And then put that into the front notch sideways and give it a squeeze. And then when I go to trim my wire, I trim it down here. Much, much better. Much, much better.
Oh, that looks great.
All right. So now I'm going to bring all this back around here to connect. So I've got my decorative ring with the dangles on it. Got the end of my bracelet here. I have extension chain because I needed more dangles, and I still have my cluster as well because I need those dangles as well. So I am all kinds of extra. I'm going to open up this jump ring that has my cluster, and I'm going to thread that to the end of the bracelet here. This jump ring also has my clasp, and that is going to connect to the jump ring here, which is going to go onto, hold on a minute, make sure that this is facing the right way, to the decorative ring here. And there you go. So,
oh my goodness, this might be one of the most like multi-element perfections that you've ever done.
I know. I'm kind of in love with it. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's a lot, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, yeah, nope to all those dangles. It's just not easy to wear because I have to sit at a computer all day, and I get that. But this is a special occasion bracelet. This is not one of those you put it on every single day kind of bracelets, because you are gonna fuss with it all day long. But I think it's so worth it. It's just beautiful.
Oh, it's wonderful. Here I am trying to come on my end too. See if I can get my bracelet. Here, oh my gosh, Sarah came out so nicely.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to add an extra jump ring in here too. But yes, show us what you're doing, because I've got to see.
So I'm just seeing it. I actually found that I actually do on one of those. So Sarah's really smart when she uses a crimp cover. She uses her like mega mighty crimper thing. Because it has a better shape to it. I'm using the larger option in the Zeron crimpers, which is working fine, but I can tell not quite. But that's your other option here. Like Sarah was saying, she didn't have any like copper crimp tubes on hand, but she had the copper crimp beads. Your other option would be you could just use your standard crimp. So I typically have a lot of silver crimps on hand, and then you can theoretically put a copper crimp cover on there. I've been a big fan. We're talking about crimping tips. I've been a big fan lately of the Zerons. I find them easy to see.
Yeah.
So the advantage here, I'm looking at my crimp bead. If you hear the construction sounds. Our favorite handyman is putting in our door upstairs.
Is that the same one?
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
100%. All right, here are the Zeron crimpers. You see how it has that mega tooth there at the bottom?
Yeah.
I love it because I don't have to think nearly as much about the exact placement. I just can put the crimp bead into across from that tooth. Crimp that down as step one. And then you see it has these 3 notches. That's because it can use size 1, 2, and 3 crimp tubes and rounds, I believe. So I go to the middle notch. This will feel very similar to like your standard crimper, and crimp that down. And I just found it was like just a little bit easier. And then I also like that you see how they left it flat on the last ½ inch of those pliers?
Yeah.
That's been very nice just to have a little, but I use that for tucking in wires. This is obviously a Nile recommendation that I finally gave in and did. And
I'm intrigued. I might have to pick up a pair and give them a try, because that's pretty cool.
Once I tried them, I was like, oh, yep, Rachel, we're stocking these at the shop. These are my new favorite crimper. Because I use it sometimes, and I have like your more standard crimpers too. But my favorite is by far the Zerons. I know we just got some more, so hopefully Rachel can add those to the site today, because they are just wonderful to use, and they're made in the US too. All right, I'm gonna get that wire. So I won't have a finished bracelet in this moment because I need to go find the perfect class, but see, you're supposed to cut these wires before you put on the crimp cover. There's steps, so methodical steps to these things that you should absolutely do. But sometimes when you're making, the looks don't matter as much, and you can just have fun. It's okay.
Exactly.
So this is kind of how it'll end up being. I'll either do 2 different clasps, or I'll just do it together as one piece. But I really wanted to try using this pipe chain because I just loved that warm ambery tone.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's gonna be so pretty.
Did a little salad of my coffee beans, and here we are.
I love it. I love it. So pretty.
There's a little coffee box inspiration for you. Oh,
sorry.
That's not Zena though.
No, that was Albert. Albert and Cooper, both barking. Ooh la la! Look at our lovely pieces. I love it.
What do you guys think?
So pretty.
Oh, oh gosh, there's so much great inspiration in your bracelet, between like how the seed bead wraps around there, the cluster, and the cluster technique. Folks, like, how would folks, did we show any of that, or how would folks do that?
So the cluster is it's really just a chain of jump rings. So I start out with, on the bottom, I always start out with just 1 jump ring and 1 bead. That's how it all gets started, right? Then I go up a jump ring, and as I go up each jump ring, I add 2 beads to that. So 1 on either side of the previous jump ring so that everything stays balanced. So then I go up another jump ring and add another 2 beads to that. And then I just keep going until it's as long as I want it to be. You can make it even more full. You don't have to stick with just 2 beads on either side of the jump ring. You can really do 3 or 4. It's totally up to you. The fuller it is, the more chunky that cluster is going to be. And of course, you don't have to make it as long either. So you can really kind of play with the length as well. But it's pretty easy. It's just all about making sure that it's balanced. So regardless of whether you use 1 bead, you can see that's a really good shot of it right there, where you can see how each bead goes on either side of the jump ring, so that makes it hang nice and balanced. You don't want both of those beads on one side of the jump ring because it'll throw it all off. But if you're going to use more beads, like 3 or 4, you want 3 on either side, right? Or 2 on either side or whatever. Just as long as it continues to be balanced and is like that all the way down, it's going to hang really nicely, kind of like a cluster of grapes.
It looks so good.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful.
That it's so, it's like, I think that style earring is so gorgeous.
Oh yeah, I do too. Yeah, would make beautiful earrings for sure, but does look good as a little dangle on a bracelet too.
Sarah, can I show you a couple things from tonight's sale before I forget?
Yes. I'm gonna turn around my camera, go right ahead.
Can we just we're just gonna look at some gemstones for a second?
Yeah, can we look at you instead of me?
Here we go. All right, so if you're looking for our beadbox lifestyle is all like out goodies that go nicely with the bead box. So we got lots of like really nice sunstone today.
So pretty.
Got these really cool lotuses that felt very Danielle to me. So I had those in today's sale.
Oh, pretty.
For like a little more unique twist, I also found some black sunstone. So this is this is this really cool rondelle shape we've been getting in. And you see how like there's shine in the black. I'm like kind of obsessed.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen those before. That's beautiful.
Isn't that cool? So I thought that would be nice with some of the darker elements of this box. Like something like this dragonfly focal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm showing you the wildest thing. The last wild thing that I think is like, whoa, is I found Brazilian agate.
Wow.
Isn't this crazy?
That is so fun.
There's like banding, and then there's like sometimes these like druzy clusters. I am all about texture right now, and like these make me so excited.
Yeah, those are so cool.
Even just like a little section of them that's like part of like a really funky bracelet.
Yeah.
I think it would be a hot pick of today's sale. We're going to start at 5 p.m. Pacific, which is 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern tonight on the Sam's Beach Up app. Which y'all, if you don't have the app, come join the fun. Sarah's got the app.
I do. It's my favorite way to shop your site because it's so convenient, so easy.
And there's like an update coming where now we can actually make like customized pages on the app, because right now, you know how it's mostly just like you can just show items on it.
Yeah.
Like soon I'll be able to like put your bracelet photo there, and then
that is so
sounds really basic, but I finally am going to be able to do that, which makes me so excited.
That's really cool. It makes things so much easier.
Yeah.
I love it.
I gotta start getting the app updated, because I want to just like fill it with inspiration photos. Is like my dream for the app.
Yes. Kim says this box makes me anxious for fall. I am feeling that too.
This is potentially our first fall box of the year, so
it's beautiful too, and I'm feeling that way too. Like it's inspiring me to want to make some more browns and creams and oranges, which are some of my very favorites. So yeah, I'm excited for fall jewelry for sure.
Like we've never really done a brown box before, so it's kind of fun to play around what a brown or neutrals palette would look like for Sam's Bead box.
Yeah, well, you and Danielle nailed it. It's gorgeous. So
and again, I got to shout out to Rachel. Rachel works hard on these boxes.
Absolutely.
What do you got coming up, Sarah?
Well, let's see what's coming up for me. So this is pretty much a straightforward standard week for me. So I'll be meeting with Hardwired today at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're a Hardwired member, don't forget we're doing our weekly project today. And then I will be with you guys again on Friday at 1 p.m. for our Feel Good Friday show. And then 4 p.m. Eastern time on Friday for Master Maker. And guys, Master Maker starting in September will be 2 times a week. So
wow.
That's coming soon. Yeah, I'm in the planning stages of it. So Master Maker 1, which is what we're calling what I'm already doing, is really component based, whereas Master Maker 2 is going to be technique based. So it's going to be the same cool show, but I'm going to focus on techniques, and it's going to be like on a month to month basis. So like month 1 will be all about, and I don't know that this is what this is going to be, but like 1 month will be all about macrame. 1 month will be all about wire wrapping. 1 month will be all about knotting. And I'll start at the beginning of the month, and we'll progressively get harder as the month goes by. So you'll kind of build your skills. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's a lot of extra work, but I'm looking forward to it because I do love the setup of Master Maker as it is right now, but I do feel like there is some technique that is missing. So this is going to give me an opportunity to kind of show off the teaching side of, of my skills, not just as a designer. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I hope that goes beautifully. My goodness.
I hope so too. It is an extra amount of work, obviously, but
I imagine.
But it's exciting because it's always fun to like, keep all of my opportunities going in different directions. You know what I mean? Because like you just don't ever know what's going to lead to what. And so when a new thing comes along, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll try that, because I don't have to commit. You never know.
Try it out. See what happens. Feel it out for fit. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
That feels like that makes a lot of sense to me.
I hope it works out. We'll see. if I come in here the next time we're together and I'm a zombie, then we may need to.
Like, Sarah, wake up! Wake up! Too much master making.
Right. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh.
Shout out to Sarah's team and Jesse, you've been in the comments today, keeping us in the loop, so to speak.
Yes.
We've got lots of links below this video. So I've got the Sam Speech Up links, and then you can also check out Sarah's links if you want to check out Hardwire, which I believe enrollment would be starting pretty soon since we're near the end of the month.
Yep.
Hardwire is a lot of fun. I love popping into your videos there. It's like such a wonderful little tight-knit community you have in Hardwired. It seems like they get a little extra special into Sarah.
Yeah, it's a fun little community. So if you're interested in being a part of that, we do open up for enrollment at the end of the month, beginning of the next month. So that is coming up, I believe, next week, right? This month has flown by. So
oh my God.
Yeah.
Where was August? I thought it was July.
Oh, it just flew by. So yeah.
What happened to our birthday month? We need more birthday month. That's rude. Alrighty, we are overtime. We better hop off.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget to check out Sam's sale tonight. You better be there. Beautiful beads.
I'll see. Right. I hope we get to see all the lovely peoples tonight.
Yes. Thank you, Sam. This was awesome as always.
Thank you. Sarah, it's wonderful to see you.
You too.
Never a dull moment with you.
Agreed.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.